test of the MagProbe on a 2010 Chevy Cobalt. What we're going to do is we're going to test the canister purge solenoid, the fuel injectors, and the ignition coils. These are the ignition coils. You can see with the sensitivity sleeve on there, it still picks it up. This one included, and this one, and this one. This car obviously has no ignition problems. If you take the sleeve off, you can see how the light gets much brighter. But this one I'll show you if I unplug it and the coil stops working. You can see the engine is running rough and there is nothing there. And then as soon as you plug it back in, the engine smooths out and the coil starts working like it's supposed to. Next, we're going to test the fuel injector. Fuel injectors are a little bit touchy. Their magnetic pulses are a little bit different, but you're going to be able to see the same pulse like you did with the ignition coils and the canister purge valve. Okay, this is the fuel injector. You got to get it out on the outside edge of the magnetic field because, as you can see, it stays on and it could give you a false reading that you have a shorted wire or something that's holding the fuel injector on. But as you move it out and get outside of the magnetic field, you can see it begin to pulse. Therefore, it's telling you that the computer is turning the fuel injector on and off as it's supposed to. What this actually is the canister purge solenoid. This is the solenoid that vents the gasoline fumes out of your fuel tank and out of the carbon canister, which is a highly common problem on the Chevrolets for failing. Okay, as you can see that the computer is actually cycling this on and off. If this solenoid was not working, you would not get that magnetic pulse, and you can see how sensitive it is because I am about 1/4 of an inch off of the solenoid and it's still registering. So if this solenoid was inoperative and you had a check engine light code for this thing, you'd be able to tell that this is what the problem is. Okay. So without the MagProbe, what you would have to do is you would actually have to test for power and test for the actual PCM to turn that solenoid on and off. With the MagProbe, as you could see, you could just touch it on there and see if the PCM is actually turning it on and off. Therefore, you would know if you had a vacuum leak between the carbon canister and that valve, or between the engine and that valve. So therefore, it would save you so much time in diagnosing just to know that that thing was working, to where you could just check for leaks and not have to worry about any electrical issues.